there everyone, in this video today we're going to be looking at the metric system and we've watched a video kind of on the basis of what the metric system is all about, but I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail here and a particular kind of acronym that I use to help us remember the bases of the metric system. So the metric system is based on base 10. So everything goes up by tens. So we have these base units. So for example, meters is our base unit for length. But of course we know we also have kilometers, we use centimeters, we use millimeters and all that sort of thing. So these things here are called prefixes. Okay, right here, prefixes. So what I'm going to do is just show you how they all work together. And I'm going to do it using this thing right here. And the way I remember these letters here is King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, that's the way I remember it, believe it or not. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. This is the base unit here, so meters or liters or whatever it is, seconds, whatever. K stands for kilo, H for hectare, D for deca, then we've got the base unit. This little d is deci, then C for centi, and M for milli. So if I'm got something in meters and I want to write it in kilometers over here, this little rhyme here helps me to know that I've got to move the decimal place back 1, 2, 3 spaces. Okay, if I want to go from meters to kilometers, the decimal point has to go back 3. If I've got something in liters and I want to write it in milliliters, I know that I have to put the decimal point forward 1, 2, 3 places. If I've given something and let's say it is in, let's do something else like centimeters, and I want to write it in kilometers. All right, that's easy. What I do is I just go, here I am at centimeters, and I've got to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to write it in kilometers. So this little rhyme here really helps me. Let me show an example. So let's say I've got 103 meters and I want to write that in kilometers. Okay, so we know from what I just did before, we're at the base unit. To get to kilometers, I've got to go back 3. So currently the decimal point is sitting right there, isn't it? 103. So it has to go back 1, 2, 3 places to there. So it would be 0.103 kilometers. So it's the same as dividing by 1,000. I just find this one a little bit more visual, a little bit easier for me to remember. So let's do another one. So I've got 58 milliliters of fluid and I want to write that in liters. Okay, so milliliters is here. To get to the base unit, I've got to go back 1, 2, 3. So again at the back 3. So from here back 1, 2, 3, and you notice I'm going to have to write a 0 in there so that makes sense. So 0.058 liters. Okay, going the other way. Let's say if I've got 52 hectopascals. I bet you might not have heard of that one. Hectopascals is a measurement of pressure in the atmosphere. So you might hear the weather people talking about it. So a hectopascal, we're sitting right here. And I want to write that in pascals, let's say. So I've got to go forward 1, 2, forward 2 places. So the decimal point is there. I'm going to have to move it over twice and add some zeros. So that is 5200 pascals. Get the idea? Moving the decimal point back and forward in these conversions. A little bit trickier when we have to do things like area and volume. Now it gets a bit trickier. So let's say if I have 150 centimeters squared and I want to write that in meters squared. All right, well here's how I think of that one. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, so we're in centimeters squared and we want to get back to the base unit. Notice that if I just want to go to centimetres to metres, I've got to go back 2. If I want to go from centimetres squared to metres squared, I've just got to go back 2 twice because it's squared, because it's 2. So, in other words, I'd have to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. Add a 0 there, and there it is, 0.015. Don't need a 0 on the end, metres squared. Okay, let's do one more. So if I have 0.8 kilometres squared, so there's a big area of land here, 0.8 of a kilometre squared, and I want to write that in metres squared, so we're going the other way around. Okay. So we're in metres squared. Sorry, we're in kilometres squared down here, and we want to get to the base unit. So from kilometres squared to metres squared, notice I have to go forward 1, 2, 3. But in this case, I have to do it twice because it's in kilometres squared. So here's 0.8. I'll just add on lots of zeros here. So I'm going to have to go forward 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And another 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's what it would be right there. 800,000 metres squared. Now the same principle applies if you start looking at volume and you want to change from millilitres to or metres cubed or something like that, or litres to metre, all of those conversions there. So I'll just do one of those. Let's say if we've got 5,600 centimetres cubed, and I want to write that in metres cubed. It's going to be a small number here. Okay, so to go from centimetres to metres, we're going to go back twice, 1, 2. So when we're going centimetres cubed to metres cubed, we've got to do that 3 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we've got to make the decimal point go back 6 places. So currently it's here. I'll just demo over here, 5,600. Chuck some zeros at the front so we can see what's going on. And currently the decimal point's here, and it's going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. 0.0056 metres cubed. There you go.